Welcome to the Success Series podcast. This is Jay Preston. This podcast is created by the Presto Post, an online magazine dedicated to producing articles that add value to your life, that inspire you, that teach you, that encourage deeper thinking, that stop you right in your tracks, that mean something, that are evergreen. This podcast is all about that. This show is also brought to you by SiteGround. SiteGround are perhaps the number one company when it comes to developing your own website. Now, a lot of companies claim to be the number one, but seriously, SiteGround are. They have 24/7 and instant customer service, which is outstanding. They have super fast web hosting, and both user-friendly and non-user-friendly, or in other words, developer interfaces, which make building, editing, and maintaining your website an absolute breeze. This advertisement is as personal as you can get. SiteGround are the folks behind our own website, the Presto Post, and having been through several web hosts prior to trying them, I don't say this lightly. They are the best, and I highly recommend them if you have a website and are looking for a more reliable and faster host, or have no website but really want one. To get a nice introductory offer and to help support this show and our website, go to prestopost.org/ads and click the link, which will take you straight to their site. The Success Series podcast is all about the secrets, recipes, and philosophies of some of the world's most famous and successful people, be them composers, actors, actresses, entrepreneurs, painters, investors, authors, journalists, philosophers, scientists, you name it. Each episode features one person and typically 7 to 10 separate pieces of advice. However, these podcasts are not interviews done by us. What we do instead is comb the internet platforms for any recordings and audio clips that already exist, study them, and then separate the wheat from the chaff. These podcasts are the wheat, or better put, the audio equivalent of your favourite superfood. Not a fan of superfoods? Well, consider them the audio equivalent of the food item that you just can't live without. Anyway, enough about food, which is making me hungry. On to the show. On today's show, we have advice from basketball superstar LeBron James. He currently plays small forward for the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA and is regarded by many as the greatest living player, and by some as the greatest ever to play the game. The awards he has won support this view. They include 3 NBA championships, 4 NBA Most Valuable Player awards, 3 NBA Finals MVP awards, 2 Olympic gold medals, and, back in the day, the NBA Rookie of the Year award. He has also been selected to 13 NBA All-Star teams, 13 All-NBA teams, and 6 All-Defensive teams, and is the Cavaliers' all-time leading scorer. Without much more, here are 8 different tips about perfectionism, the daily grind, leadership, burning hunger, and much more from LeBron James. Yes, basketball is a team game. So is soccer, cricket, American football, netball, even squash. And that means it should be played as a team game. But one of the commonalities amongst the very best athletes, like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and the like, even though they play team sports, is that they are individually driven. They want to win trophies, awards, and worldwide recognition, first and foremost, for themselves. This is not that they don't care about their team. Of course they do, but their own goals are more important. Whether you agree with this or like it, it is the mindset of the athletes at the very, very top of their game, and it is necessary. But if they had less drive and cared more about the team, it's very unlikely they'd be as good as they are. Applying this mindset to the world of business and life in general is a tricky one indeed, for it gives stirs to ideas of cynicism, narcissism, selfishness, authoritarianism, and such like. However, this, I think, is a mistake, for it is absolutely true that you must first and foremost care about yourself in life, and especially if you want to do something special. You need to have discipline, perseverance, courage, confidence, a good image. These things are not possible if you don't care about yourself. Is this selfish? It doesn't matter what it's called. For most of life, you not only have to put yourself first, it is the way you think by default.
One thing about myself, I'm real critical of myself. I believe I can't improve unless I want to improve. And ultimately, I want to become the greatest basketball player or the best player LeBron James can be. Now, if that means I become better than Michael Jordan or better than Kobe Bryant or Oscar Robertson, then so be it. But if not, I want to maximize my potential. So the times of my rookie year where I was struggling, I found a way to get through it myself with the help of friends and, not having those, yes men around me because I wasn't playing well.
7 seconds left on the 24-second clock. LeBron against the long-armed Ariza. In trouble. Oh, my!
From behind the backboard. What a shot.
An incredible shot by LeBron James. I don't know how he even saw the basket, much less put the ball in the basket.
For me, I understand that a lot gets thrown upon my plate and a lot gets thrown upon what I do. So for me, my personal goals is to win championships. And at the end of my career, what I was able to accomplish will make me happy and make me satisfied because I don't play for what people expect for me to do anymore. I want to be the greatest of all time, and that's just my mindset. Mm-hmm. Wherever they lay me at the end of my career, and if it's 1 or 9 or 12 or whatever the case may be, Smitty, I had a great time on playing this game that I love to play.
Now, whilst the previous lesson was all about having individual determination and courage and drive and hunger and passion and narrow focus and all those things, there is still no such thing in life as the self-made man. Behind every great business is a talented team of hard workers. Behind every celebrated boxer, tennis player, MMA star, soccer player, basketball player, NFL player, there is a brilliant group of people without which no success would be possible. Behind most great intellectuals, the scientists, teachers, mathematicians, and behind the creatives, the artists, musicians, and the writers, and behind the businessmen and women, behind the world leaders, there is an assembly of gifted, hard-working and supportive people who make their success possible. Here's LeBron talking about the instrumental role his teammates have played in his magnificent success.
Honestly, you guys sitting in this chair and kept looking over at them is because I'd rather be sitting over there with them. I know this is an individual award, but I would much rather be sitting over there in shorts, in a t-shirt, wondering what the hell they joking about, because I want to be a part of that joke, and I hate being out of all the jokes. I want to know what was happening, okay, guys? I would much rather be with my guys over there because that's what it's all about. Yeah, much rather be with those guys. Without those guys, this trophy's not possible. The Larry O'Brien trophy last year is not possible. Nothing that I receive individually is impossible without those 14 guys because of what they sacrifice each and every day. The sweat and the blood and the time and everything. I always know that with team success becomes individual prizes, individual accolades, but this really doesn't mean much to me. I'm humbled and I'm happy about it, but I wish it was 15 of these up here because I'm with a great group of guys that allow me to be the MVP each and every night.
One of the most common traits amongst those at the top, and perhaps the most important, is a burning, never-ending hunger. This, of course, is almost entirely antithetical to what we understand of individual happiness and contentment, of which gratitude is an instrumental ingredient, and often the starting point. That said, another ingredient is having something to work towards, a goal, a mission. And seeing a success of any type cannot be achieved without striving. I guess it is possible to have the best of both worlds. But what about huge success? Like that of LeBron James, Michael Jackson, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, and all those people who we admire. Well, the fact is that success on this level requires almost an equal amount of sacrifice, of time, of social life, of family, of other interests, and yes, to some degree, of happiness. The impact of continuous and painful striving on one's happiness is dependent upon a number of factors, of course, such as one's ability, default happiness level, industry, and hunger for success. But for those who are really, really, really hungry, happiness, well, it's secondary. Even when everything is against you, if you are serious, you will not give up.
Basketball isn't easy. All my life, I've been striving to make myself better. It's a full-time commitment. To be the best, you have to work the hardest. You have to chase what seems impossible over and over and over again. Because giving up is not an option. And when you feel like you've reached your limit, it's only the beginning. That's when it's time to dig deep, to find the courage to push some more. Because if you got the drive, the discipline, and the resolve to do what it takes to make yourself great, then the rewards are endless.
Number 4. The state of perfection is a myth. There is always room for improvement, and you cannot please everybody. Perfectionism can be crippling, immobilizing, and depressing, whether the circumstances are trivial or extremely high stake. That said, the strive towards perfection is what produces the greats of past and present, the Shakespeares, the MJs, the Einsteins, the Ronaldos, the Hemingways, the LeBron Jameses. Clearly, there is no easy answer. Perhaps the best one is a stance of cautiousness.
Can't be perfect. Don't try to be perfect. It's impossible. No one is perfect. If you make a mistake, you have to live with it, and then you have to be able to grow from it. You can't continue to make mistake after mistake after mistake and then think that you're going to be able to come back from that.
Número 5. A ton of emphasis is placed on the value of the rational mind, of the thinking brain, of calculated decisions. Whilst this is beneficial and, in fact, necessary in many regards, it can put us out of touch with our intuition, our instincts, which are vital sources of intelligence. Yes, emotions are sources of intelligence, but you have to be, well, intelligent about how you use them.
Our game is more mental than it is your abilities.
How do you apply that to the business world? Because that's one thing that's really big to you right now.
I just use my instincts. I use my instincts. One thing that I did a few years ago, I decided to part ways with my agent because I believed that I couldn't grow as a man and as a businessman having an agent, say, well, this is what you need to do and this is how you need to do it. And I started my own company with three of my good friends, and it's called LRMR. We started our own marketing company. I kind of judge, by my own standards.
Did your friends that you hired have experience? I mean,
No.
right. So
No.
seemingly not a wise business move, but there would be a reason that you would do that.
Absolutely, because as I continue to grow, I want the guys around me to grow also. So when LeBron James is done playing basketball, now what do I have for my guys to fall back on? I don't want them to be like, okay, now what do we do? Mm-hmm. My guys are being set up in a position now where when I'm done playing basketball, they can continue to go on and be respected walking into a business room, be respected on having their own business ventures without me being there, and I can just sit back and collect the check.
Before Kobe Bryant retired, he and LeBron James were regarded as the very best in the world at their sport, and in an unusual sort of way, as intense rivals. Unusual because, as Kobe put it a while back when asked about his, quote, rival, they were both from different generations, which ultimately prevented any intense rivalry, such as that of what we see between Messi and Ronaldo, or Nadal and Federer, for example. The largely unspoken value of competition sports is that the better the competition gets, the better the competitors have to get. A great example of this would be the English Premier League in the last few years, where there have been 3 to 4 teams, as opposed to the usual 1 to 2, competing to win the championship, which has pushed the quality of football being played to ridiculous heights. In the next clip, LeBron is talking about his deep admiration and respect for a man who, at the time of the interview, was still playing and regarded by more than a few people as his primary rival and the best in the world. But in actual fact, LeBron viewed him as more of a hero, as a source of inspiration, as somebody to learn from.
Do you gauge your game against Kobe? Is that your Larry Bird?
It is, honestly. I look at Kobe Bryant as that guy that is the best, one of the best in our league. Every time when I'm not playing, if the Lakers on TV, I'm watching them. I'm watching him. I'm trying to learn from him and see how he may be attacking this certain team that he's playing. Because a lot of teams kind of play me the same way that they may play Kobe with double and triple teams and, you know, making you have to facilitate to your teammates.
Yes.
So I definitely look at Kobe as that guy that, you know, he's that guy. He's that one.
Number 7. Not everybody is a leader. Or better put, not everybody should be a leader. And not everybody can be a leader. But is this true? In the case of leading a company, sports team, country, or international union, it probably is true. But in the local sense, everybody can be and should be a leader. If to nobody else, then to themselves. If you have children, for example, then yes, you are first and foremost a parent, but you are also a role model. Leader may not be the right word in this sense, but the principle still applies. What is the principle? Quite simply, that each leader has a different style, a different philosophy of leadership. And the great leaders have several, which they use for the many different situations and personalities they find themselves responsible for. Developing your own leadership style, or styles, is the product of a continuous process of learning, gaining experience, and of maturation.
Everyone's not a leader, and we shouldn't expect everyone to be a leader. I think it becomes something that you want to do or you're born with it. And some people lead by example, some people lead by voice, some people lead by both. And for me, I felt in order for myself to be as good as I wanted to be, and at the same time, in order for our team to be as good as I wanted it to be, I had to be both.
As well as we played last game, it ain't gonna be enough to win tonight. You gotta give more, dog. You gotta protect more, you gotta help more, you gotta sacrifice more in order to get this win.
You have a lot of different styles. Let's throw out some of them. You like wise teacher sometimes. Tell me about that one.
I am, man. I got so, like you said, Smith, I got so many different forms of leadership, and it just comes from my personality. Mm-hmm. You know, at times I can be silly. Strike three.
Man, these uniforms got me looking like Iron Man.
And at times I can be serious.
If you know personnel, you know teammates, you throw it up to the rim. That's like you throwing that same pass to Shaq. Would you do that to Shaq? You want to throw that pass to Shaq.
At times I could be like a teacher and be like, you know, focusing in on all my students.
Right.
So I come right here, so if I need to step once, at least I'm only stepping right here.
At times I could be the student, you know, and to be able to have different forms of leadership has helped me because you have different personalities in the locker room. Everybody is not the same. The way I talk to D-Wade may not be the way I can talk to Chris, or the way I talk to Chris may not be the way I talk to UD, or to Bird, or to Rio.
Big time, man.
Big time. What a point. Everyone's personality is different, so my leadership skills has different phases because I understand what I'm dealing with.
I love you. I love you. They go crazy. Ah! Whoever misses is out. Whoever misses is out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sometimes, you know, the smile and leadership, sometimes the playful LeBron, sometimes you use that as a form of leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. I got that from being around my childhood friends. We used to have so much fun, man. But we understood when that ball was tipped, we're gonna have the most fun here. And I just brought that with me to the NBA. When you're doing something that way and it's working and you're winning and you're not disrespecting the game,
Right.
This is what you feel like is how it's supposed to be done. It's given me a sense of brotherhood in this league that is hard to come by.
And finally, number 8. Accept the challenges that life presents to you.
Certainly athletes are trained to say, I just want to play and I want to win, and this is the most important thing to me. And then when you make a decision, and we saw it in the movie, that this isn't the most important, this is what I do, but it isn't the most important thing to you.
Right.
Is that I mean, I'm sure you play with guys in your dressing room who don't share the same value as you.
Well, that's why you have guys in our league that's superstars, and you have guys that's stars, and then you have all-stars, and then you have guys that's okay players. I mean, I accept the challenge every night. Every night I go on the basketball court, in everyday life, I accept the challenge because I realize I'm not just representing LeBron James. I'm representing, my two sons. I'm representing my family. I'm representing everybody in my household, and also the city of Cleveland. And now I have an even brighter mind. Now I represent the United States of America.
If you like the Success Series podcast, there are many ways you can support it. You can leave a review on iTunes, on our website, or any place else the podcast appears. You can share it with friends, on social media, or on your own blog or podcast. You can purchase any books we recommend in various articles on our website, the Presto Post, using the hyperlinks, which will take you straight to Amazon. You can hijack the microphone the next time you find yourself in a karaoke night and yell out the URL to our podcast feed. Or you can support us directly with a donation by going to prestopost.org/support, where you'll find all the necessary links. As always, thank you for listening.